Okay, hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm back with another one. Yes, I'm here because I have two book reviews I would like to share with y'all. Yes, and the first one is Once Upon a Blue Moon. Now, this is a great, excellent children's story. As you can see, it's two little boys and girls. Yes, the story is about them. They actually twins, and they from down south, they live down there. And what happened was the little boy twin, him and his mother got into this argument, and he wound up running off, and she went to follow him, right? And they ended up at the beach and whatever, and they had a little dog with them too, a little neighborhood dog, and what happened was he went in the water and she went after him, because it was late and the tide was kind of high, and she was just trying to tell him, you should get out. But we didn't know exactly what happened. All you knew is that this little boy right here would not leave the house. He didn't want anyone coming in his house. He wouldn't leave the house. He just stayed constantly in the house. And if anybody came by, he would tell he lived with his grandmother. He would tell his grandmama, look, tell them to leave and don't talk to me if they do come in here, because he don't want no one talking to him. He don't want nobody looking at him or anything, because he went through a traumatic experience and it changed him. And ever since that traumatic thing happened to him, he would not go outside. So his sister had to do everything for him. She would go out there and get his mail when he got mail and little things like that. And but as time went on, the little sister said, well, the twin sister said, I'm going to school. And so, you'll be here by yourself. And I hope you be okay, because I'm going to be gone most of the day. And he like, well, what you want to do that for? She was like, because I want to meet friends. I want to learn things. And their mother used to be a teacher, So he was like, okay. Well, then she met a friend, another little girl who just moved to the town. Her father was the town doctor, and they became friends, and they used to hang out. He was getting kind of jealous, like, yeah, she's always wanting to hang out with this girl now, and she never has time for me. But he was he had a great imagination. He used to go up on the roof of their house, and he built like a rocking ship, and they made it seem like they used to watch Buck Rogers. If y'all remember Buck Rogers. He used to travel to different star systems and things like that, and visit different planets. And that's what they used to do in their own imaginary mind. They had built a little rocket ship on the ceiling on the roof of their house, and they used to go up there and play together, and pretend they go on to different star systems and things like that, and encountering different aliens and different species and things like that. It was a very good book. But she was telling him, he wanted to enter this contest for Buck Rogers, that whoever got the it was like little popsicles, and if whoever collected the most popsicle wraps, they was going to be able to meet him and get an award or something like that. Yeah. And so she was telling her brother, like, well, if you're going to enter this contest and if you win, don't you know you're going to have to leave the house so you can meet Buck Rogers and things like that? He was like, well, you think there's any way that he could come to the house and meet me if I win? And she's like, I doubt it. Because, you're going to have to go to him, and then he want to take you, he want to show you the studios and things like that. So you're going to have to, become brave and leave the house eventually. You can't stay in here all your life. And he was just thinking, he was like, she said, you're going to miss out on so many things, and you don't want to do that. It's more to life than just being in the house and being scared, because when neighbors came over, or their grandmother was like in this club, and so when the ladies from the club would come over, he would hide under the kitchen table. And they would talk about him and this and that. He was like, every time they come here, they say they've got a little club going, but it seems like I'm always the topic. Yeah, it's a very good book. Yeah, so she wound up convincing them. She was telling them how it's going to be a blue moon, and if we go to the ocean during this blue moon, and you ask them to give you courage so you can leave the house, that will help you. I'm pretty sure it will, but you're going to have to get enough courage so you have to leave the house so we could go to the beach on the blue moon, so you can ask for this courage so you can live your life, and not be scared to come out or talk to people. So he was like, yeah, I guess you're right. And so they decided to go and whatever. But the girl also that she met in school, she thought she had bad luck. You know what I'm saying? She was saying how all the things that happened to her that was bad luck, like their house caught on fire and on her birthday, and things like that. And her mother had passed away, you know, a day before one of her birthdays. And she was just saying, I'm just a bad luck child and whatever. And so I'm going to go with y'all to this beach during this full moon so I can ask for some good luck, so they could get rid of this bad luck that's on me and I can receive good luck. So they went on a little journey together, all three of them. And it's about that also. And also these boys in the neighborhood who don't like him, because they feel as though that he tried to kill his mom or whatever. But what happened was, he being running in that water, his mom came after him. They both almost drowned. Yes. But they wound up saving the mom. And the dad, you know, took the mother to the city. They moved down north, up north, down north, whatever, to the city. And so she could get some special treatment. So she's in a special hospital up north, and she's been unconscious and things like that. But she was a very good school teacher, and all the children loved her. And so these little boys who was her students, they always calling him coward and things like that, because, you know, he left his mom in the ocean to drown. And the mom is actually a twin also, and the brother, her twin brother, had to come and save her and him out the water. You know, he revived the little boy, but couldn't revive his sister. So, and he says also, I know he hate me now because of it. It's a very good book. You can read it, yeah. But they wound up going on this journey to the ocean, and a lot of things happen in between, you know. But eventually he was he realized, you know what, I took this journey. We went all through these woods, all the way to the beach, and not once did I become afraid and whatever, or, you know, doubt myself. So maybe I can continue coming out, you know. The whole journey actually gave him the courage to want to live his life and not be, you know, subjected to being in a house. Yeah. It was a very good book. I liked it. I think it's by Sharon Flake. Sharon G. Flake, guys. Yep, it's called Once in a Blue Moon. Yep, it was really good. I'm glad I read it, yeah. And so the second book that I wanted to talk to y'all about is this one right here. It's called Wild Oak. Yes, Wild Oak by C.C. Harrington. Yes. All right, so this book right here was very good too. It was also a children's story, and it's about a girl, you know. She was in school, and what happened is she used to be kind of shy, but she used to have a stutter, a very bad stutter. So when a teacher would come to her and it'd be her time to read, you know, she would do little stuff so she can get out of it. So this one time she stabbed herself in the hand with a pencil. Blood started gushing everywhere. And the teacher was saying, oh my goodness, what's wrong with you? Why would you do something like that? And had to send it to the nurse. And the nurse was like, look, you come down here too often. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking maybe you need to go to a special school. You know, this special school where, quote unquote, you know, children who's got problems with them and things like that. And she heard that the school that they want to send her to, they treat the children very badly. So she's like, oh my goodness, I hope not. I hope they don't. Maybe I went overboard stabbing myself in the hand with a pencil. But she can't talk to anyone. She can never get her words out. She said they get stuck when she's about to talk, and she had a horrible, horrible stutter. And what happened was, so the mother and the father was talking. The father was like, yeah, we're going to send her to the school, because basically the father is this businessman, and he has the reputation of, and he's a little embarrassed by his daughter because she feels as though she's weird. She's not normal. That's how he feels. And so he really doesn't pay her any mind anymore. He doesn't talk to her because, like I said, she has this bad stutter, and he doesn't have the patience to listen to her when she's in her stuttering, when she's trying to tell him something. So he just walks away or tell her, just write it down or something like that. But the mother is, she's more understanding, and she's compassionate, and she sits there and she waits till her daughter get the whole thing out. She listens to her, and she don't look away. You know, she gives her undivided attention, because she says when she's in school, you know, she's trying to talk or say something. It takes her so long to say it that people wind up walking away or talking over her or saying her words for her. And that's something that also bothered her, also that made her stuttering even worse. So she was like, so the mother said, you know what, I talked to your dad, and we're not going to send you to the school, but what we're going to do first is we're going to send you to my dad. Yes, her father lived in another, I guess, city or whatever, far away, and he lives like in the country. He was like, she told her daughter, you know, he lives in the country, and it's beautiful country air. Maybe it'll be different for you. Maybe it'll help you with your stuttering. So she sends her there and whatever, and she said, we're just going to send you your classwork so you could stay up with the class and everything. and not fall behind. So they said, okay, cool. So she goes to her grandfather. Now she never really met her grandfather because they was estranged, because her father and her grandfather had this big terrible argument, and they left and never came back, and basically the dad kept the mother from her father. Yeah, so she ain't never been back to visit her dad or whatever, but the little girl is there and she's meeting him for the first time, and he lives in the city, in the country, and by this beautiful forest, and they got this big wild oak tree that's in this forest, and she was there walking around. But prior to that, it was a leopard, a snow leopard, inside a pet store with his sister, and someone went in there and bought him. Yeah, for a man went and bought that for his sister, but the lady, she lives in like this beautiful condominium, this, and that, and her condominium wasn't for a little baby snow leopard, you know what I'm saying? She went out one day and forgot to close it and lock his cage. He got out looking for food and tore her condominium up, and she was like, oh no, you got to go. She called the doorman up, can you come and take him somewhere, because I'm through with this little kid. He done tore my condominium up, and I don't know what my brother was thinking when he bought me this. Okay, so the doorman winds up taking them to this forest far away and letting them out and wander free and whatever. So lo and behold, they wind up meeting each other because the little snow leopard got caught into a trap. Somebody put traps out there in the woods, and the little snow leopard got caught in the trap. His paw was caught, and basically he was on the brink of dying when she came across him, the little girl. And so she helping him, nursing him back to health, learning the different things about how to treat all his ailments and things like that, because his paw wasn't healed. It started getting worse. But her grandfather is actually a doctor, and she took her grandfather into the woods to see the snow leopard, but the snow leopard was hiding somewhere. He wouldn't come out. So, but he trusted the little girl. He didn't trust the grandfather. But lo and behold, she started taking care of him and started reading, because the father had encyclopedias, and she started reading encyclopedias about how you can use different things in the woods to help with different ailments. And she learned the different trees, the different bushes, the different roots and things like that, and she made different kinds of things to help the little snow leopard recover. And it was a very good book. And the snow leopard wound up recovering, but when the snow leopard walking around, a couple of other people from the town, that the grandfather lived in, seen the snow leopard and became afraid. It was like, there's this big ghastly cat. This monster is running around the town. I seen them, and so they all got together with their pitchforks and tried to capture the snow leopard. And they wound up catching the snow leopard, and she was trying to tell them that he wasn't he was domesticated. He wasn't a monster, but she couldn't talk. Like, she had this very bad stutter, and everybody looking at her, and they didn't, and they wound up, just cutting her off and this and that. But then she finally got the courage to actually speak to them. Her mom and her father came to visit her at her grandfather's house, and they went and stole the snow leopard from the prison they put him in after they caught him. It was a very good book. You have to read it. It's a very good children's story, yeah. But she wound up saving a little snow leopard and finding a good home for him, because I think the grandfather knew a lady who ran a zoo in a town, but it closed down. But she also moved on to another job in the wildlife, I guess like safari, not too far from where he lived. And so they took the snow leopard there, and lo and behold, the snow leopard was missing his sister from the pet shop. And when he got to the wildlife reserve, yes, his sister was there, yes, waiting for him. So he was reunited with his sister, and she wound up becoming a great speaker. She, just from her standing up for that snow leopard and having the courage to speak and say what she needed to say, her stutter didn't completely go away, but it got a lot better, and she became a great speaker and used to stand up and actually give speeches and talk about her experience out there in the country and visiting the wild oak forest. But they wound up, it was this rich guy in the town, and he wanted to tear the wild oak forest down. He wound up tearing it down. And the grandfather was trying to stop him, but it didn't work because he owned this the forest. So he was able to do whatever he wanted to do with it. So he made a shopping mall. But what the grandfather did do, he took a lot of branches from all the trees that was in the forest, and they created new trees in another area to create a forest. And that was a really good book, yeah. I really like it. It was called The Wild Oak. Yeah. by C.C. Harrington. Okay, but these are two books that I read, guys, and these are the ones that I wanted to tell you about today. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you get these books and maybe read them to your little ones. I know they will enjoy it. All right, and so I guess that's it. And I would like to thank you for being here and liking and subscribing to my channel. All right, love you. Bye.